everybody. I found a hiding place for a family of squirrels, but it looks like I have scared them away, and I wanted to try to video them, but I don't see them now. Anyway, I'm in my woods. This is March the 25th, 2022, and I want to talk to y'all about something that I feel like is important. Excuse me, I still got some allergies going on. But I want to talk to you guys about how to tell or how to know when you have shifted out of 3D into 5D, into the new earth. Or, in other words, how to know when you shifted out of the matrix into the new earth. This is gonna, a lot of you are gonna be able to relate with this, and then some of you may not. But there's a lot of truth in what I'm saying. Okay. Now, if they're gonna if you've shifted out of 3D into 5D, then they're gonna call you crazy and they're gonna call you weird. You can get ready for that. Prepare yourself for that. If you're spiritually awakened, this is something that's going to happen to you, okay? And this is something that you need to expect, because if you don't expect it and you don't know it's coming, then you might get, it could upset you. And for the longest time, it did upset me, you know, and I'd get defensive and all, but now it's kind of like more of a confirmation for me when I hear it, and it doesn't make me mad or anything anymore. It just pretty much makes me happy, okay? Because I know that every time somebody calls me crazy or weird, that's a perfect opportunity for me to go higher, to raise my consciousness levels into a higher place. And I'm thankful for that. So, for those of you who don't understand why this makes me happy, and you're on your spiritual awakening journey, you will understand soon. Okay, they're going to call you crazy and they're going to call you weird when you shift out of 3D into 5D, because you're not going to look normal anymore. You know, you're not going to be doing the same things you did before. You're not going to be having the same kind of lifestyle. Everything's going to change. Everything will start changing in your life. Things are going to start collapsing around you, okay? But the very first thing for me that started my weirdness was the Morgellons, because when I got sick with Morgellons, my whole world started crumbling away. Things started collapsing around me. God started removing things from my life that did not need to be there. And then you can say I was forced into seeing the world in a new light. I was forced into awakening. I was forced into adapting a new way of living. Those who have not spiritually awakened, those who are not going through this ascension process, are those who are still in the 3D world and don't really know anything about the fifth dimension and the new earth, and don't really care. You're going to look crazy to them, okay? You're going to look crazy, you're going to look weird, okay? I can't tell you the times when I've overheard family members talking about me, and like I said, it used to make me mad. Now, if it makes you mad, then that's an indication that you still got ego to work with, okay? If you get mad and you get angry about what people say about you, you got some ego hanging on. The ego stays with us. It stays with us forever, but it's a constant struggle and a constant battle to overcome the ego, okay? The ego's dying. In a spiritual awakening, the ego dies. It doesn't like dying. It will put up a fight, and it will fight till the death. It will not give in. It's going to fight as long as it can. This is another battle that you have when you start fighting the battle between the spirit and the flesh. But I can't tell you the times when I have overheard family members or walked in on family members talking about me, where they thought I was asleep or they thought I was gone or somewhere, and I walked in and I called them around. I've even had people tell me to my face, "What's happened to you? You're not normal anymore. What's happened to you?" have you lost your cotton picking mind? You know, and I said, yes, I have. I have lost my cotton picking mind. And it's been replaced with a new mind, with a new mind that is plugged into God, and a new mind that is being guided and directed and assisted every day by God, God's source, God energy. And I intend to move into the new earth, the new mind, and the new way of living, of love, light, joy, peace, and harmony. So that's why I can say that it doesn't make me mad anymore when people call me weird or crazy. It makes me happy. And I'm very happy to say thank you. You have just given me another opportunity to rise higher, higher levels of consciousness. Now, and my sister used to say this, and even my brothers, and I know my brothers and sisters would get on the phone and talk about me, and they say, why don't she watch TV anymore, you know, or why does she stay outside and looking at the sun all the time? Don't she know the sun's dangerous? Don't she know that she could get skin cancer and she could die, you know, and stuff like? And I'm like, well, and like my mama used to tell me that. My mama, when I was young, when I was a teenager, my mama used to tell me, if you don't stop laying out in that sun, you're going to die. It's going to kill you. And I remember at the time, you know, being young, you know, and thinking about it. And I said, well, I guess too much of anything could kill you. Yes, I guess laying out in the sun could kill me. But if I die, I will leave this world still being a sun lover, because I love the sun. I love the water. I love the beach. I love the sand. And besides, I knew at a very young age that the sun was the light of God. I knew it was from God. So I never feared it. I was never afraid of it. So even at a young age, I was doing a lot of these things that I'm doing now. You know, but over time, as you get older, you start getting more programmed, you know, into the world. And I started just really going along with the flow. But not now, not since I started my spiritual awakening. I'm back to the basics. I'm back to nature. And they say things like, well, why is she always walking in her woods and hugging trees and talking to the trees? And why does she get upset every time a tree falls in the woods? Or why does she get upset every time a bird nest gets disturbed or something? Or why does she drink that rainwater? You know, and why does she eat that dirt? I mean, I know my mama, before she died, she was saying, oh, please tell me you're not still eating that dirt. And I said, Mama, that's not dirt. That is diametrous earth. That is one of the best detox for your body that you can get. Not only does it detox a parasite, remove the parasites out of you, and the toxins and the chemicals and the heavy metals and all that, but it's also good for your metabolism. It's good for balance. It's good for... She said, I don't want to hear it. I don't want to hear it. I don't want to hear it. You've got to stop eating that dirt. And so, for years, this has been going on for years. My family's been talking about how weird and how crazy I am. And why does she go barefoot? Why does she go barefoot all the time in the summertime? Why don't she wear shoes? Or why does she put all that sand in the backyard? And why she pick all them berries and them leaves and make all that? And what about that medicine she makes? Have you tried any of that medicine she makes? You know, she's just not the same person. Would she die or something and then come back as an alien or something? Yeah, and why is she always talking about aliens and the galactics and all that stuff? And well, they just don't get it. They don't get it. They're not where I am. They're not in the same place I'm at. Yes, I love the trees. I've always been a tree lover, right along with the sun. I've always been a nature lover. I love nature. I love animals. I love insects. I love plants. Anything to do with outside, outdoors, or nature, I love it. And I have to admit, the rest of my family has never really been into nature. Not that I am aware of. I've never been aware of any of them having any interest in doing any outside things. You know, and I do pick blackberries, and I have blueberries, and I use the berries, and I use the leaves, and I use the stems, and I make tinctures, and I make elixirs for colds and flus and all kind of things, and I also make garlic tinctures and elixirs, and they think that's just the craziest thing they've ever seen in their life, and and I've heard my sister say, well, how come she don't go to the doctor anymore? She never goes to the doctor anymore. She won't take, did you know she won't take a pill unless it comes from that herbal store up there, you know, that herbal store up there where they sell all them ancient uh, salt minerals, you know, that you put in the bathtub. And by the way, is she still taking all those Epsom salt baths every day? Well, uh, I got to say, if you don't have Morgellons, then you don't need to be asking anybody why they're taking Epsom salt baths, or why they're taking herbs, or why they're doing anything that might be crazy, because until you have Morgellons, you don't know what a person goes through with this, okay? And none of them have it that I know of. I have some cousins that have it, but their doctors tell them that they've got scabies, and they are convinced that they've got scabies, and they won't listen to anything I tell them. They don't want to take Epsom salt baths, and they don't want to take use borax, and they don't want to use diatomaceous earth, and they don't want to use Ken's Morgellons gel. They don't want to use anything I use. They think that's all quackery. It's all quackery. Well, you know, that's what the Rothschilds and the Rockefellers did to the natural medicine. They turned it all into quackery, and majority of the world has adopted the natural medicine and the natural cures as being quackery, when in truth, it's really the only thing that works to cure you. Okay. But yes, I do make medicines. I make my own medicines, and I am trying to learn about herbs. And they want to know why I'm in the woods all the time. I'm trying to learn which herbs or which plants to pick that's good for medicine. I mean, hey, that's the way the Indians did it, you know, and that's what they did in the old days. They had medicine doctors who knew. They knew which herbs to pick out of the woods. They knew how to go into the woods and pick the right kind of plant that would heal diarrhea, or the right kind of plant that would heal a stomach ache or a headache, or whatever ails you. They knew, okay? They knew. Why do they know? Because they spent a lifetime in the woods, out in nature, and they learned these things. That's what I want to do. I have a desire to learn these things. So that's why I stay in the woods all the time. I stay in the woods a lot because I can, okay? I'm in a period in my life where I can spend time in the woods, and I can learn about nature, and I can learn about medicine, and I can do the things that I wanted to do when I was young and I couldn't do. Okay, so, and then we have the mud baths. Oh my goodness, if you could just hear my family talk about me taking mud baths. Did you know she gets in there in that tank, and she puts mud in that tub, and she gets in there and she puts that mud all over her, and do you know she even puts that mud in her dang hair? Yes, I do. In the summertime. I don't do it so much in the wintertime, but in the summertime, when I can get out in the woods, I do take mud baths because I have Morgellons. And mud baths will pull the Morgellons out of the body. No, I didn't always know that, but I've learned this over the past 2 years. I've learned it. We have learned it together. You know, that's how you learn things. You experiment with things. And so when I found out that mud would pull it out, I've been using it ever since, and I intend to keep on using it. Now, if they pull up at my house, and they find me in the backyard covered with mud, and they start freaking out, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to say, "Thank you. You've just given me another opportunity to rise higher in consciousness. Thank you." So yes, I've lost my cotton picking mind, and it's been replaced with a new mind. A new mind that's connected to God. in my higher self, in the higher energies. And I love it. So I love it. Yes. They call me crazy. They call me weird. But I love it. I love it because it's another confirmation that I have shifted out of 3D into 5D. I've shifted out of the old matrix into the new earth. So yes, I love it. Okay. And talking about the mud baths and all the dimensions, I know. Now my baby sister, I used to be able to talk to her about aliens and other dimensions because she was I believe she was awake. She was in the process of awakening. She had a lot of sickness. She had diabetes. She had heart failure, and she was still connected to the system, and she was still taking the pharmaceutical drugs that she was getting from her doctor. She had bipolar. She was taking that, and I believe that she just got stuck in that system where she couldn't get out. Because once you get on that medicine for mental disorders and things, it's hard to get off, especially if you're getting some kind of relief from it. I do admit that it does give some relief, okay, but it does not cure you. It does not cure you. It will give you some relief. So I'm not totally against the medicine, the pharmaceutical drugs. They do offer relief, but they don't cure you. And the best remedy is natural medicine. And I'm not telling anybody to get off their meds. Not doing that. Do not get off your meds. But you can gradually start shifting over. You can gradually start experimenting with natural medicine, and it gradually just kind of ease yourself or wean yourself off of your meds, okay? Not telling anybody to stop taking medicine. And as far as the salt, yeah, the salt, they talk about the Dead Sea salt, and how they would never take a bath in anything that come out of the Dead Sea. Well, the minerals that are, the Dead Sea is just loaded with natural minerals and nutrients that your body needs and your skin needs. I don't understand why people wouldn't want to take baths from the salt out of the Dead Sea. I mean, it's known that the ancient minerals are the best healing medicines around. But once again, when you're dealing with those who are still stuck in the old 3D mind or the old status quo, they won't even hear of doing anything like that. They won't even hear of doing anything that's not part of the normal, okay? Normal. It's so important to them that they stay normal. It's so important to them in 3D that they stay normal and that they don't get called weird or crazy, okay? They don't want to be called crazy because they care more about what everybody thinks about them than they do their own salvation, than they do their own freedom, than they do their own spiritual awakening. They care more about what other people think and going along with what other people think. Not me. I used to be there. I'm not anymore. I stopped caring what people thought. But after I got sick with Morgellons, shortly after I got sick with Morgellons, and I realized that I was facing a life-threatening situation, and I knew that I was dying, and I was dying, okay? I knew it. I could feel it in my body. I could feel it. I was dying. Morgellons was killing me, and I knew it. But the moment that I realized this, that I was facing a life or death situation and that I had to make a choice whether I was going to live or die, that is the moment that I stopped caring what people said about me and what people thought about me. That was no longer an issue for me. That all went out the window because I was in survival mode. I had kicked into survival mode now. Everything else was out the window. I was just trying to survive. And that's when I had to make the decision. I'm either going to lay down and let this kill me, or I'm going to get up and I'm going to fight it. And I chose to fight it with the help of God to pull me up, okay? You will, when you get Morgellons, or you get cancer, or you get anything, any kind of life-threatening illness like that, it won't take you very long when you get to that place to where you don't give a crap what people say about you or what they think about you. All you can think about is survival mode, being in survival mode, and what to do. And at that time, I knew how to seek God. I did. I knew how to seek God. I had been studying metaphysics for 20 years. I knew how to seek God. I knew how to find God within me. Okay. But I hadn't been doing it. I hadn't been doing the work. I hadn't been putting in the work that was necessary for me to awaken. So that's when I started doing the work. I started putting in the effort. So I'm not going to talk very much longer. This is just a quick video to try to explain to people how to know when you have shifted out of the 3D matrix into the 5D new earth. This is some of the things. They will call you crazy. They will call you weird. They will talk about you. They will say all manner of evil against you. And they will try everything they can to persuade you to go back to your normal life. Okay? But there's scripture in the Bible that says, my people are a peculiar people. I don't even remember where it's at, but I will find it. My people are a peculiar people. We are a peculiar people when we wake up and we find God within us. That's all I want to say today, folks. I love you, and I hope this helps somebody. Thanks.